Miss Amy here with the Westminster branch of the Carroll County Public Library, and I am so glad that you've decided to join us for our Monday STEAM at the Library program. Now, STEAM. Do you know what that stands for? That's right. Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Science and math. Those are just things you do at school, right? With problems and experiments. No, we use science and math at home all the time. And I'm going to show you one way that you can do it while you're having fun in the kitchen. That's right. We use science and math when we cook. All right? So we're going to make a recipe called Mooney Balls today. All right? And we're going to use all these ingredients right here. I've put the recipe down at the end so that you can get your exact ingredients and go take a shopping list to the store if you want to. Okay? So what we start out with is 3.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs. Graham cracker crumbs. Graham crackers normally look like this, don't they? They don't look like this. Okay, so we had to put them in a bag and we had to roll them with a rolling pin and squish them with our hands to make them all crummy like this. But how did I figure out how many of these to put in the bag to make 3.5 cups? That's right, I used math. So 7 of these, when they're all squished up, make 1 cup of graham cracker crumbs. So let's think about it. 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, and then, half of 7, that's 3.5. Lucky these break easy in half, right? So that's how many I put 21 and then 3.5 more into this bag, and I squished them up with a rolling pin. Okay, so the next thing that we have to do is we have to measure them out in our bowl. Measurement is math too, right? Okay, so this is our 1 cup measure, and we need to put 3 of them in our bowl. All right, so we're going to put 1, and we're going to go 2, there we go, and 3. 3 in our bowl. There we go. All right. We're going to use these later. Put that on the side. The next thing we need is powdered milk. Looks kind of like this. Okay. Usually comes in a box. On the dry section, not the wet stuff in the fridge. Okay. And this, I've already measured it out using my cup, right? So this is 2 cups of this. I'm going to put that right in there like that. Okay. And then we're going to add 2 cups. I'm using raisins. Okay. But any kind of dried fruit that you think would be cool would be good. Okay. So dried raisins, dried cherries. That's what the recipe suggested. But if you have some other dried fruit at home, that might be cool too. All right. So we're going to mix that up with our wooden spoon. We're going to make sure we get all the graham cracker crumbs are all nice and squished properly, and that our dried milk is there and all powdery the way it's supposed to be, right? Okay. Just mix all of that up. Now, the next thing we're going to use is 1.25 cups of honey. Okay? 1/3 of a cup. That's math too, right? All right, so you're going to look on your measuring cup, and your measuring cup, you're going to split it into 3 parts, right? That's what 1/3 means, okay? And you're going to put 1 and 1/3 into your bowl. Look at that. This is going to be extremely goopy, isn't it? Oh, yeah. All right. It probably wouldn't hurt for you guys to have a grown-up help you with some of this, right? Okay. And the last thing we need to help it all stick together is we've got 2 cups of peanut butter. Yeah. So what did I do? I measured 2 cups out with my measuring cup, didn't I? Look at that. That is goopy as all get out. Oh my goodness. So, all right. Now, some of you guys might have a peanut allergy. But if that's the case, you can make this recipe too. You just need to use something else, a substitution for your peanut butter, all right? So when I looked it up, some good things that you might want to try are almond butter, if you're only allergic to peanuts. Or you can try, there's something called sunflower butter. That might work. Or you could use something called pea butter. Yeah, they dry up peas and whoosh them up. So they make a type of butter too. So then we're going to mix this all up. Look at this. Now I am starting with the spoon. We're going to move into some other. This is why, this next step is why we always wash our hands before we do cooking, don't we? Because sooner or later, we have to get our hands right in there and goop it up, okay? So yeah, you guys are gonna have a lot of fun with this. Because this, it's got about the consistency of Play-Doh, guys. So yeah, this is gonna be Play-Doh that you can eventually eat. Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, so look at this. Someone's got to mix this all up with her hands. Look at that. Oh my goodness gracious. Because we want it all nice and combined. All right, now that we've got this looking like this, we're going to take it and we're going to take our little mix and we're going to make them into little bowls like that. Look at that. That does kind of look like the moon, doesn't it? Bloop, bloop, bloop. I'm going to put it on a tray right here. All right. Let's see. And you can make these any size that you want. We're going to put just a few here on our little baking tray. And you know what? What kind of makes this recipe cool is that it's dessert. That doesn't have to go in the oven. No, this does not go in the oven. So you can make it, it's so hot out right now. This is kind of a cool thing that won't require heating up the kitchen with the oven there, right? All right, so we're just going to do a few more of these. And what we're going to do, this is then our next step is where some of our science comes in. Yeah. You know, scientists use something that they call the scientific method when they're doing an experiment. That's right. And you start out with a hypothesis. A hypothesis is kind of like a guess, but it's a guess based on information that you have. We call it an educated guess, all right? And then we make that hypothesis, and then we do things to see whether our hypothesis was right or wrong. So, and after we do that, we observe, we make observations, and then we make measurements and stuff like that to see whether or not our hypothesis was correct. So, our recipe here calls for taking our very goopy Mooney balls and putting them in the refrigerator for 1 hour. What do you guys think is going to happen to our Mooney balls after we've put them in the refrigerator for an hour? I want you guys to think about that. That's our hypothesis. All right. And we've got a tray full of Mooney balls here. We're going to put these in the refrigerator, and then we're going to check and see in an hour what happened to them. Okay? Okay, guys. So now it's been an hour since we put our Mooney balls into the refrigerator. And before we go on, one more thing. Remember that bag of crumbs that I said we were going to work on later? I forgot to tell you that you were supposed to take each one of your Mooney balls, shake it up in there, cover it in the crumbs before you put it in the fridge. Okay? So, we were talking about hypotheses, weren't we? Right? So you were going to make a hypothesis, a guess about what you thought was going to happen when we put our Mooney balls in the refrigerator. Right? So the refrigerator is really cold, right? And it keeps things nice and fresh, right? But what else does it do? That's right. Sometimes it makes things that are really soft and gooey kind of hard. So what do you think is going to happen with our balls? Oh, that's right. They're kind of hard now. And I would really suggest that with all the hot weather, you might want to keep them in the refrigerator if you're not going to eat them right away anyway. But those are our Mooney balls, and I hope you have fun working with this at home. Okay, bye guys.